Tina and Carl are traveling to New York City. Tina's plane arrives at 8 a.m. I like to write things down that I think might be important. Carl's plane arrives 2 hours and 30 minutes later. What time does Carl's plane arrive? So really we're adding 2 hours and 30 minutes to 8 a.m. What does that mean? Well, here we can add hours with hours, right? And minutes with minutes. I would start with the minutes. So here, 8 a.m., we have 0 minutes, and then we're adding a half an hour. So at the end, we have to be at some half hour, right? 0 plus 0 is 0, and 3 plus 0 is still 3. Now 8 and 2 is 10. So the answer is 10:30. AM or PM? Well, we haven't crossed over noon yet, so it's still AM. Right? Noon comes after this, 11:30, and then 12, we go to PM or noon. So here the choice is C, 10:30 a.m. I guess a trick could be that you might have only added the half an hour and gotten A. Here for B, you might have added 1.5 hours. And for D, you might have added 3.5 hours. So just keep track of what's happening. But just to extend this question, if they ask you something like, well, let's say Tina's plane arrived at 8:10, and that Carl's plane arrived 2 hours and 50 minutes later. What happens now? Well, here you add 0 and 0, but 5 and 1 is 6. But you don't write a 6 here. Why? Because that's 60 minutes. That's a whole nother hour. So we put a 0 here and carry the 1 hour up. Because really time here is, with the minutes, you can think it's base 60, which means that every time you hit 6 here in the 60, that's really 1 hour. So I would say 1 more hour up here, and that gives you 11 o'clock, right? 8 plus 2 plus 1 is 11. And if that's confusing to you, split these things up. I would write it like this. 8 o'clock, right, is 8 hours and 10 minutes, sorry, 8:10 a.m. plus 2 hours and 50 minutes later. Well, you can think, what's 50 minutes and 10 minutes? That's 60 minutes or 1 hour. And then we have 2 hours and 8 hours. It's plus 10 hours is 11. You can think of minutes and hours as separate things. Or if you don't like any of these things, you could break it all down to minutes. 2 hours and 50 minutes is, well, 170 minutes. And you can break that down because every hour has 60 minutes. So that's 120 minutes plus 50 more. And that might help you add to this, although I think here that might add some complexity. But that's an option. It's always an option to break these things down into minutes to really understand what's happening. All right, thanks.